breaking news, breaking news. I've reported on it before, and we're finding more evidence of it again. Men who want to claim that they are misgendered and they go to jail or go to prison, and they don't want to be in the prison with the men, so they claim that they're transgender, so they put them in a woman's prison. And New Jersey, I think I reported on New Jersey already. It's bad there. Well, here's the case right here. 2 women getting pregnant, prisoners getting pregnant, and you would think, well, they had a women's prison, so it's got to be the staff that impregnated them. Nope, it was these misgendered men who claimed that they were really women and got sent to a women's prison. They're the ones that knocked them up. It's all a scam. It's just a scam. You know, God made Adam and Eve, and that's it. You know, if you think you're Adam and you're really Eve, or you think you're the opposite, then that's a mental problem. And your state hospitals aren't as numerous as they used to be, and I think they need to bring them back and put these people in the state hospital. But, yep, check this story out right here. And before I get to it, down here in Augusta, yesterday, we shop at the IGA right down here on the east boundary, which is just a few blocks from us, down here in the hood. That's right, down in the hood. Well, transvestite got shot in the leg down there yesterday at the IGA. That's right. And my neighbor Diane, she always keeps me up on what's going on around here. I mean, she is the best news reporter you ever seen in your life. Well, anyhow, I looked on the local news and I couldn't find it. So I called up Channel 12 News, the newsroom, and I talked to one of the guys there. And I said, I told him where I live and about the story I heard about a guy or transvestite, whatever, getting shot down at the IGA, and I hadn't seen anything about it in the news. And he told me, he said, there's been so many shootings here in the past week or two. He said, we can't get to all of them. And I know he's right now because there's been about 7 or 8 shootings here in the past 5 or 6 days. Old man, 72, got shot and killed walking down the road. Well, matter of fact, right here at the across from the IGA, there's a Chevron, and there was 2 shootings there. Yeah, I tell you what, the warmer it gets, it seems, the more violent the blacks want to get. Yes, it does. And it's getting worse and worse down here in Augusta. It's getting worse everywhere. Yes, it is. But anyhow, check this story out right here. Tell me what you think.
So in modern America, if you point out that biological sex is a physical reality, you can be fired from your job. The Washington Post will send a reporter to your house to intimidate you, but it doesn't change anything. Denying reality doesn't change reality. You could say gravity isn't real, but if you jump off the roof of your garage, you're still going to get hurt. And that's true for biological sex. It is, in fact, real, whether the authorities admit it or not. Officials in New Jersey are learning that lesson this week. 2 female inmates at a supposedly all-women's prison in New Jersey have just become pregnant. You wonder how that happened. Well, it turns out those women had sexual encounters with another inmate who was a biological man passing as a woman. Now, some people predicted that this would happen, and they were laughed at, mocked, and attacked as bigots. Kara Dansky is at the very top of that list. She said this years ago on our show. She's the president of the U.S. chapter of the Women's Declaration International, author of the book, The Abolition of Sex, How the Transgender Agenda Harms Women and Girls, and we are happy to have Kara Dansky back. Kara, thanks so much for coming on. I'll never forget the first time, and it had to have been at least 4 years ago, when you said, if we keep going down this path, we're going to have biological men in women's prisons. And you were right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. You know, though the story that's happening in New Jersey is obviously horrible for so many reasons. We need to not have men being housed in women's prisons. But a couple takeaways from this that I just want to point out are, first of all, the state is not getting away with this by telling its residents that they are housing men in women's prisons. What they are doing, of course, is telling the residents that they are housing so-called transgender women or trans women in women's prisons, suggesting that there is some sort of subcategory of women that is called transgender women or trans women, and it's not true. The fact of this story shoots a hole right through the trope that trans women are women. Our society has been taught that we are supposed to say and think that trans women are women, but obviously that is not true, because the individuals that are the focus of the story impregnated women, and every thinking adult, no matter what the President of the United States has to say on the matter, knows that there is no category of women who can impregnate women. So I really want to thank you for highlighting this story. And I also just want to point out that this is not just a problem in New Jersey. This is a problem across the country. I know that we have talked previously about how the state of California recently enacted a law at the end of 2020, which went into effect in 2021, which mandates that men be housed in women's prisons on the basis of their so-called gender identity if they say that they are women. Washington State has a similar policy. However, this is not just happening in blue states. This is happening across the country. As far as I know, 49 states plus the District of Columbia have some form of law or policy in place that mandates the housing of men in women's prisons.
Why is it left to you and J.K. Rowling and a couple of others to point this out? Where are the physicians who know perfectly well that what you're saying is true, the biologists who know it every bit as well? Why are they going along with this when they know it's a lie?
So the entire medical establishment in the United States has been captured by so-called trans ideology. And what I really want all Americans across the political spectrum to understand is that trans is not a civil rights movement to protect a marginalized community of people. It is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is pushing this. It is paying the medical establishment. It is paying most media outlets. It is paying our government. It is paying our schools. It is at all levels, elementary schools through college, to push the idea that the material reality of sex does not exist, and that what is more important than the material reality of sex is so-called gender identity. This is all being pushed by a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the guise of a civil rights movement. It's all a lie.
And these are the people providing our medical care. It's really scary when you put it
They
that
are.
way.
I know someone who is a medical student right now, and she is horrified about what's being taught. I do just want to say really quickly, there's something that has been announced in the past couple of weeks called the Women's Bill of Rights. This was drafted by members of the Women's Liberation Front and by members of Independent Women's Voices, supported by my organization, Women's Declaration International, as well as Concerned Women for America. And I really hope that one of the members of Congress introduces it. Thank you so much.
I hope so too. Great to see you. We'll be right back.
Well, it ain't just happening in the blue states. It's happening in the red states too. Common sense will tell you you can't put a man and a woman in a confined area like that without some hanky-panky going on. Yeah, and they're just letting it happen. They're not letting it happen. They're causing it to happen by putting the men in the women's prisons. Now, it don't make a lick of sense in the world. I guarantee you them men that act like they women, they ain't worried about coming up for parole. That's a rooster caught in the hen house. He's slap happy. He's right where he wants to be at. But it's a mess. And you're going to hear it here on Chickabone News Network. I'll tell you something else you're going to hear on Chickabone News Network. You're going to hear the truth about what's going on everywhere. Everywhere I find it, everywhere stories are sent to me. You might not like it, and I've been getting some comments. Some people don't like the truth I've been reporting on. But you're going to hear the truth right here. If you don't like it, you ain't got to subscribe. You can leave. You can go watch CNN, MSNBC, or go to Disney World if you want to. But if you want to hear the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth about what's outside your front door, what they're trying to bring inside your front door, you stick right here to Chickabone News Network. It ain't all pretty. It ain't all fluff balls. No, it ain't. It's the truth, though. Look here. I got to get back to work. I just took a little short break to do this. If you like this video, share it with your family and friends. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Subscribe. And be safe out there. Because it's a dangerous world we live in. Pop, pop, pop.
Remarkable. Remarkable.